Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations in COVID. I have the honor of speaking with Senator Bob Mensch today, who has been the prime sponsor of the Senate bill for medical assistance for workers with disabilities. And we are so grateful that you are joining us here today. Could you both introduce yourselves?
Sure. And Dr. Badger, thank you. This is a great opportunity to exchange, and we're finding so many valuable ways of using Zoom and the new way of communicating. So I'm State Senator Bob Mensch. I'm from the 24th Senate District, which is principally Montgomery County, but also includes portions of Bucks and Berks counties.
Great.
My name's David Kozak. I'm the Legislative Director for Senator Mensch. I'm based out of Harrisburg, and my job is to work with the Senator to get his legislative initiatives out there, work with stakeholders to make sure that any bill we introduce and pass is as best as it can be.
Great, thank you so much. So during this time, we've been so focused on the virus. We've been talking about the unfortunate situations going on in our world today, but there's still so much positive that's going on. Medical assistance for workers with disabilities is a bill that was introduced last year that would allow people to work more and to earn more and ultimately save. Senator, why did you take this on as our prime sponsor?
It's an issue I feel strongly about. I do have a handicapped son, if that's the right term, if I can still use that. I'm familiar with that. Billy is at a point where he goes to a workshop. He can contribute, but only marginally. But because of his situation, I've had the opportunity to interact with so many other people who do have disabilities of one form or another, and they're impressive people. But we judge them very quickly, we society, simply visually because we see an impairment or we hear an impairment. And the reality is they have great skills, great intellect, and great ability to contribute to our society. So I think that we have part of what a legislature should be about is to understand that, be sensitive to it, and facilitate that opportunity. So that's what I'm trying to do here, and hopefully we can get more people into the workplace. You know, the pre-COVID economy was at a point where we were exhausting available workforce. So there were many great opportunities that were becoming available, and I think as a consequence, we would have had much greater success with a bill such as this in place. So we need to put it in place so as the recovery goes, we can accommodate with it.
Couldn't say it better myself. Thank you so much, Senator. And, we've all been living through this very strange time in history. How are you doing?
We're doing well. Western Montgomery County that I represent is very different from Eastern Montgomery County. People lump Montgomery County together. It's red right now using the vernacular. I think in fact, I know that if we assessed my district just as the district, we'd be green. 0.2% of our population have died from COVID. Now that's a sad number, but it is not near what we have seen in other parts of the state, and especially in the eastern half of my own county. 0.7% of the people have actually contracted the virus. So we've been fortunate. I think a large reason for that is we socially distance just by the way we live out here. We don't have the same density that you do in urban areas, and it's not a rural district. It's a very suburban district, but I think the way that the communities are arranged out here has helped us to keep the count down. So we're doing well, I think. Everyone's getting a little frustrated. We all need haircuts. We all want to get out and socialize a little bit more than we've been able to. And I see it in my emails every day that I read, the increasing frustration, angst, anger in some cases with people feeling that the government is forcing them to live a life that they're just not accustomed to. We can rationalize that with the offset of flattening the curve, defeating the virus, but the reality is that people want to be people. We become who we are. And so whatever they're accustomed to having done for all those previous years in their life, they want to get back to doing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any new learning curves that you've had since you have been now living through virtual reality for the past 3 months?
Interesting question. I spent 35 years in industry prior to serving in the legislature, and I was an early adopter of what we then called the virtual office. And the video conferencing technology really didn't exist at that time. It did, but it was very immature compared to what we have today. But I really thought that there was an efficiency to be had by not working out of a bricks and mortar building all the time and letting people have the flexibility and the freedom of working either out of their homes or through customer locations and so forth. I was in outside sales most of my life and in marketing. So it fit very well what we were doing. So I was an early adopter. So I'm really encouraging the continuation of this new environment. I think it's going to continue to mature. We're going to see more and more capabilities, functionality. What we need is more bandwidth and more memory in the network itself. And as that investment is made by the companies providing this, we'll see more and more flexibility, more and more sophistication come to the product. And we have a very large nationwide insurance location down the street, and they've closed the location, partly because they were going to relocate employees anyway, but also they have learned very quickly that they can do a great deal of what they were doing at this collective building. They can do it just as effectively in a virtual environment. And I think we're going to see more and more of that reality all the time. I don't know what government does with all the buildings they own then, but it's a very flexible way and a very effective way of doing business.
Well, Senator, thank you so much for joining us. And I think that was a great way to wrap this up as we move forward, hopefully with passing the MAWD bill and this new set of learned skills of being able to work from home opens the doors for so many people with disabilities to pursue better jobs. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. Jazzy, thank you. Thanks for your continued help and support on this. And I'd love to continue to work with you and see if we can't get this over the finish line in the fall.
Let's do it. Thank you.
All right.